Hello and welcome to another video from American Fun 351. I'm really excited today. This is our first ever long gun video, and today we have a Swiss Vetterli model 1881 that I just ordered from Simpson Ltd. So we're going to pop it open real quick and take a look at it together. So to open it today, we're going to use a Swiss bayonet, and we're just going to get right into it. If you've never ordered anything from Simpson, you should, because everything they have is literally great. They import a ton of stuff from Switzerland. They have a lot of K31s and K11s and these older Vetterlis right now. But they package everything really well. I think their shipping is a flat $40 no matter what it is you order. But as you can tell, it's worth it because they use a lot of packing material. All right, there it is out of the packaging. They put it in lots of layers of bubble wrap. It's very well protected. And I don't know if you saw it, but they gave us piles and piles of packing peanuts. And I have no idea what that is. I only ordered the rifle, so I don't know what other little stuff they threw in there. But we are going to rip it open and show you all what it is. All right, we got everything unwrapped and cleaned up. The extra stuff they put in there was, they gave me a pen. It's a Simpson Limited. It's pretty awesome. And the other little thing was a cleaning kit. So I didn't even know it was going to come with that. But so we got a surplus Swiss cleaning kit. Looks like it's probably from the 70s or 80s, so it doesn't go over to this rifle, but that's still awesome. Has all little rod segments and some brushes and a couple oil bottles. That's great. Happy little bonus. But the main event is our wonderful Vetterli model 1881. Okay, I don't know if you can tell from there, but this rifle's in great shape for being well over 100 years old. I'm going to go take the camera and go try to give you a close-up. But I believe based on the serial number, mine was made in 1887. And so it's well past the definition of an antique according to U.S. gun laws. And so this got to get shipped straight to my house. And it has a beautiful walnut stock set on it. All the numbers match. I'll show you those in greater detail in a minute. But the blue ink's still pretty good. There's a little bit of pitting, especially right here on the bolt and on the sight. But the wood is just great. There's a little proof mark right there. There's another one up here. And those are really crisp. And it came with the cleaning rod. And yeah, I'll flip it over real quick and show you the other side. Okay, I'm just going to take you in close again. But the other side looks basically just as good. And but it's on this side, though, that we have our model markings. We have an M81. It was made at the Waffenbrick burn factory that they built just to start pumping out Vetterlis. Like I said, my serial number is 213040. So I think that puts it right at 1887. And we got one little gouge, but that's just a piece of character. And a really cool cupped butt plate. And there's supposed to be a spare firing pin back there. So at one point, they noticed that a bunch of the firing pins were failing all the time. And so one of the upgrades for the model 1881 was putting a spare firing pin back there. So I'll open that up for you and we'll see if we can find it. Well, I got our butt plate off, and unfortunately we do not have a spare firing pin. But that's where it would have gone. They just have a little, about 1-inch deep channel cut in there where they could have stored a spare firing pin. A lot of modern firearms, have cleaning kits in the butt like that, but they put in firing pins, and looks like mine is probably installed on the rifle, honestly. All right, I'm just going to try to hold up the rifle and show you some of the mechanisms on it and what makes it just so interesting. But if you don't know the history of Vetterli rifles, these were initially developed back in 1868, which is kind of crazy to think about, that just a few years after the U.S. Civil War, the Swiss were able to develop a bolt-action repeating rifle. And, during our Civil War, we were mostly using muzzle-loading rifles and muskets. So this was a huge technological advantage way back then. And the part that makes it even more funny is the fact that Switzerland has been a neutral nation for a long time. And so Vetterlis, especially the Swiss ones, never even saw combat. But the very first iterations of the Vetterli still had an external hammer you had to cock. But they figured out how to incorporate that into the bolt-action cycling of the rifle. And so these are the first rifles in the world to be able to cock from the bolt movement. That's really awesome. And these have a tubular magazine that runs up under here, under the forearm. And they hold 12 rounds of 41 Swiss, which is a rimfire cartridge. And this elevator and this tubular magazine mechanism are basically copies of the Winchester lever-action rifles. And Mr. Winchester himself even helped, consult and design on this a little bit. And so this is a really interesting kind of mating of a American lever-action with European bolt-action technology. And I'm very happy to have one. Mine is a model 81, M81. And so this is the last iteration of the Swiss Vetterlis. And so it's the most refined, I guess you could call it. But some of the things it has is, like, it has the sight markings on the outside of the rear sight. And this is also supposed to extend and slide out, but mine's pretty rusty. But yeah, I'm just going to show you real quick where to find all the serial numbers in case you ever want to purchase one yourself and you care about having matching serial numbers. But so down here on the sight base, there's one. So we have the number 40. You can't quite see it, but there's also one on the sight leaf down there that also says 40. Those are the hardest ones to see. Everything else is pretty easy, but you got it here on the barrel, on the frame, on the bolt, both on the handle at the bottom, as well as the housing right there, little shroud. And then we have it again right here on the bottom of our tubular magazine elevator. We have another one on the trigger guard inside. See that? It says 40. Got one at the top of the butt plate, 40. And then the last ones are on our bands. We have one right there at the top and one at the middle band with the sling swivel on it. It's right there. It says 40 again. But yeah, these are really awesome rifles. I don't know if I'll ever be able to shoot mine, to be honest. You can convert them to be center fire and make your own brass, but maybe at some point in my life I will get more into that. But for now, it will be a wall hanger next to my Italian Vetterli. And the last thing I just wanted to look at in this video was take a closer look at the action and just see how ingenious it is. But so if you can see down in there, there's a follower that is poking out from the forearm where all the bullets are stored. And as you work the bolt, that follower will push a new round into that little elevator we're about to see. And when you pull the bolt the rest of the way back, the elevator raises, and your new round is now in line with the barrel, and your old round was ejected off the top of here. And then when you work the bolt again and close it, the elevator will go down, and you're ready to fire again. And so you can see exactly how that looks just like an early Winchester lever-action rifle. And if you can imagine being a European soldier who, a few years before the Vetterli came out, had a black powder bolt-action rifle that he had to single feed and cock the hammer for every shot, getting assigned a repeating rifle with 13 rounds in it, basically, is kind of crazy to think about. Well, that'll do it for today's video on the Swiss Vetterli Model 1881. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something about Swiss Vetterli rifles. They really are a giant leap in firearms technology, and I'm very happy to have one in my collection. I don't know if I'll ever get to actually shoot it, but regardless, it's a beautiful firearm, and it will look great on the wall. And I hope you liked the video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our other great firearms we're going to take a look at. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.